Backyard Builder here. Well, we're drywalling today, and one of the worst jobs you're ever going to have is trying to put a ceiling on a room that's not square. My bathroom, I don't know who the guy was that built this thing. I'm sure he must have had a square that looks something like this. No, the room is skewed, and the walls go at different angles out from the main wall, and not only that, they're at an angle. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do to change either wall, because one has half the electrical in the house running through it, and it supports my stairwell as well, and the other one's got all my plumbing in it, so I can't move either wall, so I'm stuck with them the way they are. And I've got this screw-walled roof that I'm trying to put together like a patchwork quilt, because that's the only way you can do this. It's just practically impossible to measure. You just have to do it in little segments, measuring what you can, where you can, and trying to make the pieces as square as possible as you go along. So this is it. This is a real interesting project today. So anyways, well, let's get started here. Now you just know you're going to have a problem drywalling in a room when you see something like this in the corner. About 1.5 inches or so at the bottom and tight at the top. Fun, fun, fun. You already know the room is askew. Now before you get started with any project where you're working around electrical and you have to remove the fixture, always take the time to shut the breaker off and then tie your points off. Just a safety precaution, just in case somebody accidentally flips the breaker back on. You don't want to start a fire, get electrocuted while you're working. Okay, so here's the piece of ceiling that we're trying to patch here. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of utilities running through there. That's why we had to take it down, but to get at those. But if you look to the top right, you can see the edge of the sheet of drywall I installed last night, and there's a nice little gap there that gets wider as things go along here, and that's because the room's out of skew. So, but that's fine. We'll just have to throw a little extra mud in that corner, but the rest of it we're going to try and get as accurate as we can here. So this is what we're dealing with over here. We go around the utility headers up top there and go around the corner there. We've got the fan, and we've got the octagon box for the light above. So we have to account for all of that when we're doing a measuring. So the first measurement we take, well, we know that it's 4 feet wide. That's the distance across that longest piece, and then the next longest piece is 29.5 inches. So we have cut that already. Now we have to start cutting in the various larger items to get it to fit, and we're going to start with that corner there up on the left. Okay, the first piece I'm going to be cutting here is 29.5 inches wide, and the way I've determined that is because that happens to be my widest segment that I have in this portion of ceiling that I'm doing. Now I do know it's about 4 feet wide as well, so now with that in hand, let's go take our next measurement. Okay, so one thing I need to do at this point is determine which way the skew is running. So I'm just going to take a straight edge. Now you can use a 2x4 or a long level or whatever. And I'm just going to take a mark. I'm going up against this header that I've got here, and I'm going to make a mark over here, just on that sheet of drywall right there. And then I'm going to take a measuring tape and make sure that my my header here hasn't come back this way at all, just to ensure that this side is square. So we grab our tape measure, and just a quick measure there shows, what do we got here, 5 3/4, and right here is 5 1/2, so that is a little bit of a skewing that we have to watch out for. It is coming back this way, so we do have to take that into account when we do our cut. So what we're going to do to account for that, now I know that distance there is 28 1/2. Okay, so 28 1/2, 5 1/2, and 5 3/4. Okay, 5 3/4 and 5 1/2. So we have to go back to our sheet now and put that on. Okay, so we come back to our sheet here, and now we have to transfer all these measurements onto our sheet here. Now, the easiest way to do something like this is to do it from the back side, upside down, just exactly as it would go straight up onto the ceiling. Okay, so now I know first measurement I've got here is 28 1/2 inches, so I'm going to measure that off. And at 28 1/2 inches, I'm in 5 3/4 to be equal. And down at this end here, I'm in 8 7/8. And at that point, I'm in 5 1/2 inches. Okay, so what we're going to do just have to check one more thing here. Okay, so that's where we need to go. You need to come back 5 3/4 back here, and come back in from there, and then from this point out to here I need to come back in 1/4 inch. Okay, and that will account for the skew in that wall. I need to put that in right there, 1/4 inch. So now the next thing I need to figure out is where my octagon box goes. Okay, so now we measure there, we're 5 1/4 inches in and to 9 inches on the other side, and from the wall we're 18 to 21 3/4. Now these things are approximately about 3 1/2 inches wide, so once you get close, you usually just give a little bit of extra whittling around your opening, and that usually does it. And then you just transfer those numbers to the inside here. Okay, so we'll do 5 1/4. Just take a ruler Mark that off. Now, we need to actually measure 18 1/8 from this point and not from the edge of the drywall. So what we're going to do, we're just going to, since we're going to be cutting through that point anyways, what we'll do, we'll just put a little gouge in there so we can get our tape to sit in there. And we'll just go like so, 18 1/8. Like I said, these things are approximately 3.5 inches wide. So if I go 3.5 or about 1, 2, 3, just over 3.5, maybe 3 5/8 over. That'll give me the other side of my hole. And the same thing on this edge here. If I go about roughly 3 5/8. The other side of my hole here. And then these are octagon boxes, so mark it off. Just take about 3/4 of an inch off each corner. And that's done. Now that we have to do the fan. Okay. Now from that point over to this wall is going to be 42 inches. We know that this point here is 29.5. This point up to there is going to be 13 3/4. So going around that corner right there. And at that point, we've started to skew a bit, so we're 29 3/8. Okay, so, and then 28 1/4 for there. And then we'll just mark from there over to our mark on the other side. Okay, now I know that my piece here is 34 inches because that's what I started with on the first piece that I put up on the ceiling. So I need to go 34 inches to there. That leaves me with 13 3/4 back to that point, which is about 1/4 of an inch off this whole end here, which is about right. That's consistent all the way through. Now the next measurement I have is, I believe I said it was 29 1/4, which is about right there. And in at this point, it should be about 28. Okay, now we need a slightly longer straight edge. Get one long straight edge. It takes that edge off. Okay. Now, the final thing we need to mark out is where our fan is going to go. Okay, the last thing we have to measure is our fan, and there's a lot of little measurements for this one here, so you might want to, if you're short memory like I have, you might want to have a piece of paper handy or cardboard or something. So we're 8 inches there, 7 3/4 inches there. Remember, the room is skewed, so we're just trying to adjust for everything. That's 1 3/4 there, and 1 5/8 there. And we'll just write that down. And once we have that measurement, now we know the fan is 9 inches by 8.5 inches. And once we have all that, now we can go mark our piece and cut it. Alright, so now it's just a simple matter of transferring our measurements onto the back of our drywall. Now, once you've marked all your pieces, you can start cutting. Try and keep your squares level as you can. Now, lots of little pieces to cut here. So now I'll just show you a couple of things here, and I'm with the trimming the edges here. Just take a straight edge and just put it along the line, cut through. Now the interesting part is actually going to be breaking through the drywall to cut the holes. Now what you want to do is just take the tip of your knife, just push it through like so, and do it the other direction as well. And then what you want to do is just take one of these keyhole saws and just stick it through the hole that you just made, and then just follow your line all the way around. And I'm just going to cut this up and we'll install it. So if you cut 3/4 of the way around, it'll open up like a little window. You can just take your knife and cut the last little bit off. And you might want to just cut these holes just a little loose. That makes it easier for when you're actually placing the item, because you always need a little bit of wiggle room. Besides that, it's quite handy to be able to move it around, and you can always add a little mud to build it back up again if you go a little too wide. Okay, now it's time for the moment of truth. Truthfully though, I have made a couple attempts at this already, and I had to do a little bit of trimming. Don't be surprised with something that's out of skew, out of square as much as this room is, if you have to take a couple of different attempts at it to get it just right so it fits. Okay, so anyways, here's our piece, complicated as it is, and we're just going to pop it up into place here, and I'm going to take a little bit of wiggling and maneuvering, but it will fit. Now, before you actually put something like this up here, you might want to take note of where your where all of your joists and stuff are that you're going to be screwing into. You can either mark them on the face of the board, or or whatever. Just I know I've got one right about there. Just get a couple of screws in here, and after that it'll be self-supporting. Don't ever let go with just one screw in though, because you'll have it on your head for sure. There we go. There's enough friction fit here that it's probably safe to let go of it now. And once you've got it in place, then you can start driving it home. Just sink your screws until they're just grabbing and they're just dimpled just a little bit below the surface there, but you don't want to break the paper. So, variable speed drill is handy. Hopefully you got a better one than I have. It's not too impressed with this one, but there we go. Anyways, have a good day.